TEKS 2F, parallel and perpendicular notes. Okay, so today we're going to talk about parallel and perpendicular lines. So let's look at the note part. So it says parallel. So for parallel and perpendicular, we have symbols that we use in math. So for parallel, our symbol looks like this. Two slanted lines that are parallel to each other. So parallel means slopes that are the same. Parallel lines also never cross. So I want you to keep that in mind too. They never cross. So they don't share any point in common. So parallel lines are slopes that are the same. For perpendicular, the symbol looks like an upside down T. So perpendicular is an upside down T. Perpendicular means slopes that are opposite reciprocals. So slopes that are opposite reciprocals. And what that means is that the sign changes and the fraction flips. So I'm going to write that. So the sign changes. So if it was positive, it now goes to negative. And then reciprocal just means flips. Okay. So something important about perpendicular also is that they do cross at one point. So the lines will cross at one point. So lines cross at one, very important, only one point. Okay. In order to solve parallel and perpendicular problems, we're going to use the point slope formula. So this is a formula that we already learned, but I'm going to go ahead and rewrite it here. Remember, point slope formula is y minus y1 equals mx minus x1, where m is our slope and x1, y1 is our point. Okay, so let's look at some examples. Example 1 says write a slope that is parallel to y equals negative 3x plus 5. Remember, parallel means same slope. And the slope of this equation is right here at negative 3. So that means a slope that is parallel to this equation is negative 3. And we're going to write that as m, because m is slope, parallel, because it's parallel, equal to negative 3. That's our answer. Okay, let's look at example 2. It says write a slope that is perpendicular to y equals 2x plus 3. Remember, perpendicular means opposite reciprocal, which just means the sign changes and the fraction flips. So the slope of y equals 2x plus 3 is 2. So in order to find the slope that is perpendicular, we need to first change the sign. So 2 is positive, so we're going to write negative. So m perpendicular is equal to negative. That's the first step. And then remember, 2 can be written as 2 over 1. So what would it look like if I flipped 2 over 1? It would be 1 over 2. So that means our slope that is perpendicular is equal to negative 1 over 2. That's our answer. Okay. Number 3 says write a slope that is perpendicular. Remember, perpendicular means opposite reciprocal to y equals 1/2 x plus 4. So 1/2 is our slope. So if we were to change the sign, it would go from positive to negative. And if we were to flip 1/2, that would look like 2 over 1. So that means our slope that is perpendicular is equal to negative 2. That's the answer. Okay, so the first three examples were just us finding the slope. Finding the slope is going to be the only thing that's different about this TEK versus the TEK when we learned about point slope formula. So let's look at example 4. So example 4, we're going to have to do a few more steps. So it says find the line that is perpendicular. Let me underline perpendicular to y equals 2x plus 3 and goes through the point 2, 3. So first we need to find a slope that is perpendicular to 2. Remember, perpendicular means opposite reciprocal. So opposite of positive 2 is going to be negative. So the slope of perpendicular is equal to negative. And then if we took 2 and flipped it, that would become 1/2. So that's our perpendicular slope. And remember, this point is just x1, y1. Okay? So now we're going to use the point slope formula. Y minus y1 equals m, x minus x1. We have y minus 3 equals negative 1/2 x minus 2. Remember, this should not be new to you. We've studied this and we've tested over this. Okay, so all I want you guys to do from here is just get it in slope-intercept form. So y equals mx plus b. So first we're going to distribute the 1/2. So I get y minus 3 equals negative 1/2 x. And negative 1/2 times negative 2 is positive 1. And then we add 3 to both sides. And we get y equals negative 1/2 x plus 4. That's our answer. We know our answer is correct because look at our original slope. Our original slope was 2. And now our new slope is negative 1/2. So they are perpendicular to each other. Okay, let's look at the last problem, number 5. Number 5 says find the line that is parallel, remember parallel means same, to y equals negative 3x plus 5 and goes through the point 0, negative 4. Okay, so y equals negative 3x plus 5 is the equation that we need to find the slope from. The slope is negative 3. Since we're finding the parallel slope, we know parallel means same. So the same number as negative 3 is negative 3. So that's our parallel slope. Then remember our point is x1, y1. Okay, so I use the point slope formula. Y minus y1 equals m x minus x1. And then I plug all the numbers in. Y minus negative 4 equals negative 3 x minus 0. Okay, so this was a mistake that a lot of you made on the test, is that you forgot to put our negative number in parentheses. The reason why we put it in parentheses is so we don't confuse it with the minus sign. So if we have minus a negative, that turns into plus a positive, and then we can just start to distribute our negative 3. Okay? So we have y plus 4 is equal to negative 3x minus 0. Or actually plus 0 because a negative times a negative. Okay? We don't really need that 0 there, but I'm just going to keep it there as a placeholder. Okay, then I'm going to get y by itself by subtracting 4. So I'm left with y equals negative 3x, and 0 minus 4 is negative 4. So that is our answer. And again, we know we did it right if we're comparing our slopes. So our slope is negative 3 in our new equation and negative 3 in our old equation. They're the same slope, which means we did good and we got a parallel slope.